Timberwolves are going to win the world championship.
Edwards. Edwards! They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, it's on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, baby.
Welcome into Wolves After Dark. Timberwolves win, but feels like the first time in forever. 119 to 115 against the Celtics. I don't necessarily feel great, though. If you're new here, like the stream, subscribe to the stream. We're over 2,600 subscribers, which is awesome. And if we get, same as last time, if we get 75 likes on the stream, we'll do a ticket giveaway on stream live. So, Ashwin, you're back. I'm back. And are the Timberwolves back? Or was this just a lucky win?
I think there's like a lot to answer there. And I'll just say quickly, all of the above. I think we're not necessarily back, but we are able to win games that are kind of maybe not really our best showing. That's good. That's a good sign. That's progress. We're able to win games without executing very well. I don't think that's a good sign, but it's like we'll take them because we have to. And it kind of just shows that we're a 500 team. We are above average based off the standings. We're competing against a strong and feisty Celtics team, but they are a 500 team in the East that's like completely disheveled in terms of like Detroit's on top, and like the big players aren't anywhere to be found in the top of the East.
They're playing Minot and Garza unironically, and we had to struggle to beat them. So,
and I just think that the 3-game losing streak, while it's over, should have dictated and should have depicted a new kind of energy in the start of the game. It did not, and that was my biggest frustration with this game, is that we came out lethargic, we came out slow. I don't know if we were prepared enough, but we were ready to play, but we were just kind of watching each other play. And here comes, Kata, 7 boards. Here comes Jaylen Brown going left, doing whatever he wants to do in mid-range, popping off for 19 or 20 in the first quarter, and we had no answer. That is not necessarily how we should play, desperate for a win at home with the Tree jerseys, with Jordan Dye courtside. I don't know why I don't like that guy. But
shout out Jordan Dye. I'm okay with you, Jordan Dye.
I just think that like all the energy, all the hustle, all the things that the 50-50 things that like you don't even have to really teach. You just have to like pound it in terms of like, this is like how we are as a team. We are not doing these things. Can we do these things, please? Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a hard showing to start the game. I mean, I'm glad we won. I'm glad we pulled it together. Terrence Shannon Jr. Got a nice jolt of energy for our team. We hit a couple threes. Dante, thank you so much. And, Ant took over and closed it in the fourth, as good players, great players, superstar players should do.
Yeah, I am totally in agreement. And with 24, which I don't know your actual name since this stream setup is totally messed everything up. But, like you said earlier, starting out that like after this 3-game losing streak, you would expect, or 3 or more, I don't remember, but you would expect some pep. You're back home. You had multiple days also. This was not just like a 1 day off and come back. I think this was a 2-day off kind of trip, so you could like get back together, have your team meetings, have all the things that you need to do, and just be able to come out strong, come out aggressive. And immediately it was like everyone was lazy. I know we scored like the first 2 or 5 points or something in the game, but it's just like the body language was not there, and just a lot of, I don't know, just very concerning to come out. And then honestly, the game went almost how every single Timberwolves game has gone this year. We come out lazy. Third quarter, we play really well, Ant plays really well. And then the fourth quarter, we cough the ball up, and it's like we lose the game in the clutch. It's too obvious of a script every single game. Sure, were there better moments in this game than the previous games? Yeah, I mean, like there was that one play where Rudy Gobert makes an unnecessary behind the back pass to Dante, who then zips it inside to Ant, who is cutting and makes a layup, which should have been an and one, to take us up by, I think, 10 or 12 with like 4 or 5 minutes left. But we're screaming, we're celebrating, we're having a good time. That was fun. But it's the same situation as before. We've had these moments where it's like, why is this keep happening? And the question we're going to keep asking is this coaching? Is this the players' will to want to play early? Like, is it an early season problem? Is it that they aren't like motivated by regular season games early in the season? Because that's real. I'm not like saying that that's not some real thing. Of course, this is like kind of the mundane part of the season. Um, but I don't know. It just it bothers me that all of the same bad things happened again. Ant had another good game, but it's like I don't know. We're gonna get into player specifics, and honestly, we should probably just do that right away this time because we got to get ready for a game tomorrow. Back at home again. So against a way better team in the Spurs. So I don't know. Want to just hop into player specifics?
Sure. As we do that, as we transition into that, and as before I probably get muted and my camera goes, Jake,
You
I
got
have three
muted
things.
too.
I have three things. The we
Yeah.
three things that I want to say about our team. We have a really hard time running plays. I think just generally, I think we have a very open offense. We're trying to force sometimes there's like a triple team three that just Ant wanted to do. There was like a double screen for a contested fadeaway three that Dante wanted to do ATO. Our ATOs are poor. We have a hard time just running plays right now. And it's all about trying to get some other player going, and we mess it up. We have another 5 second, turnover. We had
Ugh,
another like almost eight
it's
second turnover. We have a hard
crazy.
time. And say that again.
It's every game. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Every game.
I don't know. Professional basketball still has these kind of like lapses, and that's not necessarily who we should be as we are, back to back conference final teams aiming for bigger things. We shouldn't have these like very obvious lapses. I give them a pass because we're playing too traditional, Cameron. We're playing just so slow. The We need the point guard, but we don't have one. We're running this pick and roll that doesn't do anything. We're not offensively. We're not sprinting. We're not like playing faster. The transition dies when we get the rebound because we're looking for an open man as opposed to the guy with the guy who gets the rebound sprints to establish the play. We're playing too traditional, and I think the NBA is kind of passing us by. We're a 500 team, but this mantra of just trying to run this one play isn't working, and we have a hard time running this one play. And so it is fun to see like when Ant pops off. It's fun to see when Julius gets going, but it's very obvious. And
Mhm.
the traditional sense is they know who we're going with. They know who's taking the shots on our team, and they're playing their cards right. And we struggle as a byproduct of that. And finally, I think we need some tough love, man. I
Yeah.
think we were playing relaxed. We were playing where, hey, we're not down big, but we're not up, like 20 plus or whatever. We're playing relaxed. And I just think that um I don't care if you forget an assignment. I do care that you never make that mistake again in this game. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you'll have these lapses. I get it. But like Rudy shouldn't allow Kata just pop off for 7 rebounds in a quarter. That
Yeah.
is so lack of discipline. That is so unaware. You're unaware of what's going on. And you can't have Jalen Brown pop off for these mid rangers. That's
Mhm.
unaware that you are lacking awareness. And this is like something that you should just be scolded for. Like bottom of the bench, like get back into shape and figure this out mentally. That's not just him though. I'm like calling him out, but like Ant was a byproduct of this. He wasn't playing his best basketball in the first half. I mean, luckily we won because of him on the back of his hands. But I'm just saying, like,
Mhm.
maybe I'm ranting too much. It's just we need some tough love, and it needs to start also from the top of our players because yeah, we're making like what are we like top of the bankroll on a team here? We're just 500. Like, shouldn't
Yeah.
we be better? I don't know.
Exactly.
There's some obvious things that are happening that I just like. Shouldn't we be better, Cameron?
We should. And we are near the top. I think we're at least top 10. We might even be top 5 in um like payroll on the roster. But before we get right into the tier list, which we're going to very shortly here, a lot of the chatter lately has been, trading. I mean, we were talking about this last stream, but like trading players, whether that be Nas, whether that be Randall, who's somebody that I didn't really consider again, but I guess is a possibility and was thrown out there on Twitter as a name. You know, it's just, you're right. We need tough love. I don't know where that comes from because I don't know. In the past, we've had leaders, I think, on the team, not necessarily Finch, that have been, we've had players like Pat Bev, who was like, obviously we don't know what's going on with him right now. Does not seem good. But like as a leader on the team, he was a leader for us and would hold everyone accountable. And I see more leadership in Ant as he grows up. I mean, he's still only 24. So like I'm not expecting Ant to have this like immense crazy leadership. But it's like, where is that going to come from? Because I don't think it's coming from Randall. I think the person that it's most likely coming from is either Mike or Joe Ingles, and neither one of those players are able to right now really kind of be that person for the team because they just aren't contributing enough. It's like, and Mike's got like the nice guy act, so it's like it just doesn't work. But anyways, on to the tier list. A1, for those of you that are new, unforgettably good game. Wancho, unforgettably bad game. Clark County is good defense. Cash is good offense. Horse Size Duck is a great game that you're just not going to remember. And let me pull up the stats here. Let's start with, wow. Okay, so this actually did happen. Rob Dillingham, we were joking about it in the Discord. I didn't realize that it actually happened. Rob Dillingham played 6 minutes, had 3 points, hit a nice 3 after some mistakes, but hit a 3 and was immediately pulled. It's 6 minutes, 3 points, 2 assists. Had 1 turnover, had 2 bad defensive plays where we were talking about in the Discord, and I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication where Rob was trying to like blitz. And the thing is that the way Rob plays defense is because obviously he is 130 pounds, but he's like 5'11". So he's very short, very small. So what he does is he tries to get steals and tries to be sneaky. But what he was doing two possessions in a row is he's doubling the guy at the top of the key and then leaving somebody wide open, which of course at that moment in time, Boston was shooting lights out from 3 and they hit 2 threes. So it's like, that was a mistake, but on offense, he's hitting some shots now. I think this is a meh, we care about you, because I honestly probably would have liked to seen more tonight. But I don't know. I mean, there's obviously, I'm not saying that, again, this is all based on our expectations coming into the game. I'm not saying that like it's acceptable for him to do the mistakes that he had. I just think based on what I'm expecting coming into the game, this was fine. This was like a meh, we care about you.
In a lot of ways, the coaching staff just wanted to win this game and thought that Conley would put it together for us, where we lack like some sort of a discernible leader. My opinion are like, I wish Rob had more playing time, but like we got the win, and I'm not like, if they're not flustered by it, I shouldn't really be either, I guess.
Yeah, true. Meh for Rob. Next
I
up,
like the 3 that he had though.
I did too. It looked like he's been doing some bicep curls or something. He's getting the ball there easy. Next up, Jalen Clark played 12 minutes, had 0 points, 1 rebound. He was 0 of 3, all 3-point attempts. Defense, I don't remember specific plays, but I don't remember anything super amazing, and I don't remember anything super bad. It's probably a man, we care about you. I can't really. That's kind of the definition. If I can't really remember specific plays, like I'm remembering a couple here and there things that weren't plays, it was just him on the court. It's probably a meh.
I mean, this is like a classic case of healthy competition where Dante DiVincenzo was hitting his shots tonight. So it's like we want to have him out there just to kind of space the ball. But if he's not hitting the shots, we'd rather have someone who might not hit shots, but he's definitely like making plays and getting 50-50 balls.
Yes.
He had that one awesome, like off of Jaylen Brown kind of extending the possession play. we love him over here at Wolves After Dark, and we would wish he had more time. But a lot of it's just like playing what the vibes are giving us. So at the expense of the young players, almost always.
I will say, if this season becomes pointless and we really are a 500 team for most of it, I need to be seeing more than 12 minutes of him and more than 6 minutes of Rob. It needs to be like if this is going to be a play-in season or a missing the play-in entirely season, not trying to be so negative after a win, but if that is the case, because we still had problems tonight, then we need to see more from these guys. They need to develop more and have more opportunities. But next up, who is up next? Let's do TJ. Kind of an up and down night for TJ. He played 17 minutes though, 10 points. He was 3 of 7, had 3 turnovers, but they kind of said it on the broadcast a little bit. This is like, you're kind of going to take this, I think, with TJ. I'm not really, there was never one that I was ever really super upset with. Of course, I don't want him to turn a ball over, but I don't know. It was just like, last game we get the 7 of 7 perfect TJ game. This game, we still got 10 points. It's just that he's driving so fast and he's forcing the issue, which is kind of his strength. But when that happens, sometimes you're going to lose the ball. And tonight it happened a few times, which didn't feel great, but I don't really have like a huge problem with it, because I just know that if he does this the next game, well, I don't know against the Spurs, but just in general, if he does it the next game against a random opponent, then I'm feeling good. Like I want him to continue doing that. So you live with the good, you live with the bad. I have no problem. I'd probably still go meh. I might be close-ish to going to nice, but just because I don't know. I'm such a TJ fan. You and I both are. It's like, I just am excited to see him out there. So I'm biased because I just like him and I want to see more minutes of him. And when he's out there, I'm having fun. But he's probably realistically a meh.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I probably agree with you on all fronts, including our bias. But like the fact that he had that quick shot 3, he had that transition layup with Dante, he didn't mess it up. And yeah, he's gonna do some, solo dolo stuff where he's like running through triple teams because he's asked to run through triple teams as like a fullback would. I don't think he didn't really do much wrong, but he also didn't score in the first half really. So like it maybe put some pause on his like aggressiveness. The fact that he went 7 for 7 last game and 3 for 7, like 10 for 14, like that's ridiculous numbers for a guy who's getting low usage, like just kind of plug and play. And he's asked to do a lot even defensively. I think I'd want to say more, but like, yeah, probably this game was a meh at best.
10 points in 17 minutes is a lot. I guess I'm discounting that a little bit, but I do think there was just a little bit of out of controlness. But again, we're living with that because we want that aggressiveness. So we'll put him at the top of meh. If there's outrage in the chat, I'll go up to nice. Okay. Next up, let's do Mike Conley. Old. Well, I just said old immediately. But that's probably true. Mike Conley played 17 minutes, had 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He made every shot he took. But I don't know. I understand why he's out there, but he was out there late in the game when we were still having the turnover problems. And I'm not saying he was the one doing that, but if he's not calming the offense down when he's out there, which is the whole point of him being on the team, then there is no point for him to be on the team or be playing. I think it's old. I honestly, old should just be in meh this time, because I don't think that it was necessarily way worse than these players. Like he was fine, but he's old. So I think it's just an old.
I mean, this is not a negative. He was 2 for 2. He was perfect from 3. Both of threes.
Exactly.
He played the role, and also he's asked to do things like break our losing streak. So do the little things that would help. And maybe he got lost a couple times on defense, but like that's everyone. So we can't really pinpoint any one thing that he did wrong. I don't know, man. 2 assists, no turnovers, 6 points. It's pretty good, honestly. And in a random competition ring with him and Dillingham, I would like to have Dillingham out there. I'd rather have the win, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah. And also I said this in the past, and I think I forget this myself, which is why I feel bad about putting him in old and all
I'll
these
let
other
you go
players
above
in
Meh,
meh.
I think.
Okay, we can do that. But I mean, meh is not bad. It's just that it's like it's kind of we expected it. There was nothing amazing, which is why like when I think about TJ Moore, the more I think I'm like maybe he should be a nice because I don't think he was just meh and unnoticeable. But the turnovers are bad. I don't know. I told the chat while you left
There.
if there's outrage in the chat, we will move him up to nice. Um. Anyways, who's up next? Let's go Jaden. Jaden's up next because he only played 26 minutes because he fouled out of the game. Um, this was kind of a Jaden of old game, but mixed with some Jaden of new because he still had some nice offensive plays. 26 minutes, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. The minutes he was out there was amazing. He was a plus 24 tonight. But he fouled out of the game. And I honestly, other than the one foul that I think was I'm still confused by the foul that they reviewed and still said was a foul
Oh, the
on
challenge.
Jaden. I understand that he was about to, they always talk about point A, point B, and whatever the refs do. I understand that Jaden was about to veer Jalen off of his path. I understand that that was going to happen. It had not happened yet, and Jalen reaches out and grabs his jersey. So to me, I feel like that he initiates the contact. I understand that Jaden's arm also touches, but Jalen's initiating the content earlier. So I don't agree with that call. But besides that, I thought there was a lot of weird, stupid Jaden fouls tonight that I just did not love. But when he was out there, he was obviously amazing. So this was like, feels wrong again, but I feel like he's got to be a meh.
Um,
If you
yeah,
take the 6
I don't
fouls
know,
out of
man.
the
This is one
game,
of those forgettable games for me, honestly,
yeah,
for Jaden. But it
yeah,
was awesome. It was to see him kind of persevere through all the lack of touches. He had no touches in this game. Then we tried to force it because we knew he had foul trouble and he was doing some random things. Like he had a nice spot up 3 on the corner that was sick.
yeah.
And he had that like really weird contested drive to the hoop. That's kind of what I remember from his game. And I just think that he gets a bad rep, but also like he's playing through it, not really fussing it, and I love him. So like I think this was a meh or nice, but like you can tell me what you want.
I'll do meh again. But if we take the 6 fouls out, he's Clark County. But that's you can't take the 6 fouls out. So
It's just funny. Like I wrote down a couple of players of the game. Of course, there's like the ant popping off for 40, basically, but like we're gonna get to a couple other players with like Dante and Nas and stuff.
mhm.
But wait, we missed Nas.
Did we not put him on there?
You know.
Oh yeah.
But in
Oh,
a lot of
no,
ways, like
we haven't.
the defensive identity was lost a lot at the point of attack, and Jaden was our rescue in a lot of ways. Like for some reason, I saw a lot of Gobert being pulled, Gobert kind of getting one on one, as well as Gobert getting kind of like boxed out in rebounds and kind of contesting for a reason. Jaden was there at the last point of defense, and I thought that was awesome to see. Yeah, of course, that he might even get calls against him in regard, but he didn't care about that. He was rather this possession is denied by me. So it was awesome to see, I guess, honestly.
Yeah. Well, next up is Nas, and the reason that we haven't done Nas yet is because he played more minutes than Jaden. He had 28 minutes. He had 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. It was 4 of 9 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3. Did have 3 turnovers, but only 1 foul. I felt like this was a pretty good. I mean, there's still always the same issues with Nas's defense, but there was some on-ball defensive plays that were like better. Like he had that nice block against, I don't remember who, but he was staying vertical, he was staying back, and he blocked the shot, and it just felt good to me. Um, but of course, he always does get lost. I thought the team as a whole, one thing I will say that was positive, I thought, especially in the second half, we had some scrambling defensively where we were scrambling out to defenders at in good timing. And I thought it was they were still converting because we had given them the confidence in the first half, but there were just moments where it was like it felt good to me defensively. It reminded me of that one famous play that I love from the Phoenix series 2 years ago or whatever, where it was like it was the possession right before Ant had the dunk to basically put him away for the series. And it's like everybody perfectly rotating to every single person, then turn the ball over. That didn't happen tonight, but the same ideas defensively did. So I don't know. But Nas, I don't know where to put Nas. I don't want to say where to put Nas.
Oh, this is one of my favorite games of him of the season. Like he didn't pop off for 30 or whatever, but his defense was very, very relevant
True,
in a lot of
man.
ways where I don't really like that. Like Julius and Rudy get a lot of they get passes on defense. They have lapses, and it was very noticeable tonight. Rudy Nas doesn't, and Nas actually, sometimes gets into foul trouble and or like internal battles with himself in terms of like, oh, that wasn't a foul and stuff. He killed it tonight. He had 8 rebounds, had a couple of
Yep.
clutch threes. He had insane instincts on the ball defensively, such that he even had a couple strips, maybe one that didn't even get counted. And yeah, he popped off for basically double off the bench, where he's like, pulled because of Rudy isms and like politics. And I think he could have had way more opportunity, way more shots, way more of like contribution, like stat wise. But um, he gets pulled for other reasons. And so I think this is one of my favorite games of his this season that wasn't like point driven. And that's like a new level, new arc, new story arc for Nas. Because like we need this kind of sustainability from him night in, night out. We don't necessarily need him to always pop off for 30 because the lapses on defense are very evident. And I think this is crazy to say, but like um, I think his kind of output tonight was the reason for us winning this game, and it's very repeatable. He doesn't have to pop off for 30. He's like 3 for 10 or 4 for 9 from the floor. Isn't that great? But it's like above average, and his hustle on defense, his willingness to box out for rebounds, even late game execution was there. Whereas sometimes he's like coughing up rebounds, like coughing up opportunities for putbacks. And yeah, maybe he had a layup that didn't go in or out. Maybe he had a couple costly turnovers, but that didn't like sway him. And usually that does. So I thought that was great from him.
Last thing I'll say on Nas is, last stream I was very focused. I mean, I wouldn't say that I was determined on trading Nas, but I was. I saw that comment. I was very focused only on like trading Nas and not anybody else. Just because in my brain at the time that's what I thought, but I kind of forgot that like our long term plan and the reason we signed Nas to such a long term contract is because you probably can trade Randall, and I don't want to trade Randall, but I do think that the idea is that Nas eventually could be our starting point or starting power forward, and then we trade Randall for something else, whether as a point guard or who knows what. I don't know what any of those work out to be, but I just wanted to say that I'm not so dead set on trading only Nas. Just that I think that if the season continues to go poorly, I know we won tonight, but if we go back to the ways of old of the last 3 games, I'm not trying to say only trade Nas. I'm just saying trades will have to happen. That may be Nas, that may be Randall, that may be Dante, that may be whoever, but we'll just have to see. So anyways, next up, speaking of Julius Randle, let's do Julius Randle. 32 minutes. He had 16 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 6 of 13, 3 of 8 from 3. Did have 4 turnovers. Let's see. How many of those were late? He only had 1 in the fourth quarter, so that's not that bad. I mean, but he, again, was a little sped up and uncomfortable in that fourth quarter. But how do we feel about Julius Randle? And Ashwin, I'm going to let you take this away. I know your camera's acting up and everything's happening, but the dog is about to go crazy, so I'm going to mute myself and make sure everything goes smoothly.
Gotcha.
That's crazy timing.
I hope you guys can hear me. I feel like you're gonna have to take it away 1 second.
Okay. Yep. Ashwin will be back, and hopefully this doesn't happen. Um, but just waiting for Ashwin to come back, and we'll get to Julius Randle. Maybe it's cooked. It's not gonna work. Okay. Go say hi. Go. 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 All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know what's going. Everything's happening at once. I gotta put my dog down. Not like that. Okay. We're back. We're good. Julius was a meh tonight, but he had some stats. Yeah. Eye test was not as favorable at all. First month of the season, Julius Randle was playing All-Star. I know. And it was going back to last season too, where he was just so good. If Julius is looking for a triple-double, Julius, if Julius is looking for triple-double, Julius, he's exactly what the team needs. If he's only looking to get his, it doesn't work. That's true. I also think that so much of Julius's problem is he just gets so sped up in situations where, like, when the defender does not allow him to comfortably, like, ISO or do anything, like when he starts getting doubled or when he starts getting even just a medium amount of pressure, it kind of ruins him and it just makes everything go crazy. And that's where we get into the really bad situations. So,
Yeah. Hey, sorry about all that, everyone. This is a very modest performance from Julius. I think I expect better from him. I didn't like that he settled for the threes that he did get. I think there was like this thing where he popped in the fourth quarter and then the first possession he just shot a three. I hated that. His like his prowess, his like skill set is all depicted, and basically our entire offense is predicated on him getting to the rim. And I'm just going to name off some stats here, but we got pounded again in the paint, 50-34. Whoa, against a team like with Kada, and like they don't have like their natural fours is someone who does mid-range and threes, right? And Jalen Brown. So that should have been us dominating that the entire game with Rudy, Julius, and Nas with a healthy dose of and getting to the line. So
yeah.
like that kind of stat we should not be comfortable with a stat like that, getting completely dominated in the paint again. Double second chance points again, getting completely doubled basically, and fast break points too. So with this is all like related to Julius Randle, where he's slowing the game down, he's making it about him. But 4 turnovers is awful. But I mean, he is one of the reasons why we don't have a traditional point guard, because I think he can be that person who can like set up an offense, drive and kick. And it looks great when it looks great. The first month of the season was like, oh my God, this guy's an all-star. Right now, he's going through a slump. We should all be with him, not necessarily like looking to trade him and everything. It's not going to happen. Like there's like guaranteed 0% chance that we're gonna change our roster right now. We're gonna try to maximize our value before we make any trades. So we're gonna have to kind of ride with him. And in a lot of ways, when Ant is not going early in the game, which he wasn't, we look to our now others, right? And then honestly, it's like to Randall first, but it didn't happen, and it was kind of like a sluggish start. And Jalen Brown pops off for 19 in the first quarter. We're getting out hustled, out muscled, and that should not be the case when we have Julius Randle out there. He should be the other, like he should be the cog to change all of that. Defensively, he looked a little lost tonight, also, and he was one of the primary guard defenders on Jalen Brown when they were going small with their three white dudes. It's like, yeah, like he's getting owned on the perimeter, and that's really hard to say because he's not amazing defense. He's not an amazing defender, but he should definitely hold his own. That's like one of the main reasons why we got him too, because he had a like strong stance and he has like a burly body that he doesn't get pushed around. But yet again, looked like he did. So I think like a strong man for me, and maybe I'm over explaining myself because I'm kind of getting a little not sick, but bored of our offense right now. When if it's not clicking, if it's not moving the ball, like what are we doing? Like why are we waiting for him to set up a play? Why is he not getting open? Why is he coughing the ball? I'm getting a little bored. This is stale. This is stagnant. I don't necessarily want change. I want a jolt of like tough love. I want a jolt of energy saying, "Hey, you can't play like this and get away with it. You're making too much money. You mean too much for us.
Mhm.
This doesn't fly in my world."
Yeah, I just don't know where that comes from. Like we were talking about earlier, I just because Finch is there's already been examples that come up in post game interviews, and just even just like other random videos of players talking about how they're like, oh no, Finch keeps Ant accountable, or Finch keeps all of his players accountable regardless of status. And it's like, okay, but like there are still problems with our stars and all of the players. So it's like there's the jolt. This is where I'm starting to be a little bit more open to the idea of the fire Finch crowd. Not that I'm such a proponent of doing that, but it's like at a point, if things aren't working and if you're not going to get a championship, you can be fine. You can be tough on your players. Maybe you are a jolt at times, but if it's not getting you all the way there, then there needs to be a new voice. It's not even so much that you're doing it bad, it's that it's just not resonating anymore. So, that's where I get a little bit into that. But anyways, that's about Finch. That's about Patrick Beverly. That's about but yeah, I'm taking off my T-Wolves gear and wearing a holiday sweater. Um, that's probably wise. But I don't know. You have to even during the terrible times, you have to keep the faith. Have to keep the fandom. I'm not saying you can't be mad. That's what we're here for. And we did win today. So it's not like we're that bad, but it was on the realm of wins, this was a frustrating win. Um Julius, though, I agree. I think he's in meh, firmly in the middle of meh. That's all I have to say.
I've
Wait.
said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't want to fire Finch. My commentary about like lack of tough love isn't about like changing leadership right now. He's like our all-time winningest coach. Like, get like we should completely eradicate that thought from our head, our mind, because like it's on the players to kind of execute. It's on the coach to enforce the execution and call the timeouts and get our team ready and everything. It's not just him; it's the whole team. It's all the whole staff. But it's on the players to completely give a fuck, right? And so, in a lot of ways, like we're friends, we're family. We have like fucking like we've been there before, so we're gonna get to it. But there's no like guarantees in this league, and we have to play for each other, but we have to play harder than ever before just to stay fucking 500. That's like crazy. I think
Yeah.
there is some coaching lapses. I think we need more like enforced like plays that make more sense, like call timeouts aggressively to get our team back on stand and back on like in queue, but like or in sync rather. But I still think that like Finch, one of our best coaches, like who are we replacing him with? What are we doing here mid-season just because we're 500? The West is still wide open for us to take.
Well,
We
this
can
is
still
great.
fix this.
This is great because while you were gone, I was giving the case for the exact opposite thing. Um, but yeah, and we don't need to spend so much time on Finch, but just to my rebuttal, if your camera's able to stay on, is I I'm not saying that Finch is a bad coach. I just think that there becomes a point, and I agree with something that you didn't say, but I think you think is like I don't like just the coaching carousel. Like we've seen like Milwaukee just like fire a bunch of coaches and go through a bunch of coaches, or like other teams that have gone through other coaching changes where it's like, okay, we're just going to change coaches all the time. Maybe the Lakers are a better example, but it's like you see all these coaches go through and it's like they're trying to make an impact within like 2 years and then it's kind of over. Um, Finch, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying that I think perhaps his jolt that we're looking for isn't there. You're right. The players do need to. So much of this is on the players. The disappointments that we are talking about is on the players mostly, but a coach is there to give that spark. And I think that it may have been given in the past and maybe worked in the past. But once players hear a spark or a motivation or criticism a bunch of times, it become the more they hear it, the less impactful it becomes. Not because Finch is doing anything wrong or anything like that. It's just, you get bored of things. Like for me, I used to have spicy chicken yakisoba every single day. And I got bored of it because it just didn't have the same impact. So now I don't have it anymore. And it's not because it's bad, it's because it wasn't good anymore. I didn't like it anymore. So, um,
Damn, hot takes.
hot takes, spicy
takes.
takes.
Hey, I wanted to
Um,
quickly. I'm sorry. I don't know. I feel like we're going on a bit of a tangent. I do want to say. I want to stress, Love Fadina. You've commented a couple times on some things that I've said. I want to get to them. Sorry that we're not getting to all of them. We wanted to make this a largely a quicker show, but it's not happening. Um, it is not open in the sense that like first seed and second seed are for grabs. Those are locked. But like the Lakers, Houston, like San Antonio, they're above us. We should be above them. Clearly, we should be above them, and we have time to fix those mistakes, and probably time. We have enough ramp runway to kind of catch them. It's kind of where I'm getting at. We want to be top 4 seed. I don't think we're going to be anywhere close to what OKC and Denver end up doing. But hey, in a postseason, we've seen what we can do against Denver. So I'm like, in that regard, just get us there.
yeah. And so also to hit on some generous people in chat here. Well, not hit on them, but get to them.
Thank you, Carrot.
Carrot, thank you for the $5 laptop donation fund. What do you think separates us from OKC and the Nuggets? If you had a wand, what would you change to make us get there? Ja, new coach. I don't think Ja. I don't know what I think about Ja, and I don't even know that a new coach does that either. I think that the key piece for me personally is a point guard. We need a point guard to give us just comfort in those last 5 minutes of a game. And that used to be Mike Conley, and that worked. 2 years ago, Mike Conley. I mean, that's why we've been successful now for the past couple of years. I mean, I'm not saying attributing it all to him, of course, but like he is a part of the machine where it's like, okay, this helps Ant be Ant, this helps Julius be Julius, Cat be Cat, whoever. And now it's like he's not capable of being that person anymore. Like obviously we're still playing him, which we're not super thrilled by. But to me, it's just that we need like an actual point guard that can give us something, and we're trying to develop Ant into that right now. So maybe it's just 2 years of Ant playing point guard that'll get him to that spot. I don't think so, but like maybe. Um, and or it's acquiring a point guard, because right now we're relying on, I mean, the lineup we're running out there in most of our important situations is Dante as the point guard or Ant as the point guard. And I don't have confidence really in either one of them from a ball handling standpoint. A scoring point, yes. And it has opened up the offense slightly for us in those moments. But when you have a defense as good as OKC, also OKC is different. It's hard to describe because it's like a whole show that we could do on it, but like it's just that they are at the current moment in time able to play or pay a bunch of max level players at the same time, when realistically in a year or two they're going to have to trade some of them. Now they're in a good situation because they have draft picks that they can keep filling in those players, but they're not going to be able to keep Chet, J-Dub, and Shea on the same team. So they're going to keep Shea and maybe one of the others, but then who knows. So anyways, that's my take.
My take is much different, but it's okay. I love that we are the time away from you has made us
good.
like not congealed as one. I love that.
I love it.
We are different minds. Maybe you move to Redmond and just like change your whole outlook.
Yeah, I'm hitting it. It's crazy.
I think it's a lot of it is just our offense is stagnant. It's slow. Our leadership is not like strong and disciplined. It's like kind of, hey, we're playing through things together and we're gonna win and lose together. We need more discipline. But I think it's also like I think our offense is lazy and outdated, and we need a jolt of a faster pace. We need better athletes. We need better development, and such that we can rely on our youth more so than like our 30-year-old or 33-year-old center, who I think is being played off the court despite how well he is playing. Like we are very, very reliant on him on the court, which really changes our offense. When we can't spread out five, we have to pack the paint in a lot of ways defensively, or they just can easily pack the paint and we struggle to get paint points, right? So
Mhm.
in a lot of ways, it's like a system thing. We need to change personnel, get better athletes, play younger and faster, and kind of be not unafraid to make mistakes. We're being too hesitant, and oftentimes we're just kind of doing this ISO crap instead of actually running plays. And I don't think we have to make too many big fucking changes in our roster right now. I don't think we need to make any sort of coaching changes immediately. I just think it's like give a fuck factor and play for each other harder and get those 50-50 balls. It doesn't have to be solely on like Vanderbilt, right? It can be everyone, right?
Yeah.
Everyone can do these small things. And in like a 25% of the season's already done and we're barely above 500, like there's a lot of like gut check, like, hey, we can do this, but like we need to do a lot more. And I think what does this team need? A jolt of give a fuck, like a jolt of
Yeah.
energy, a jolt of something. But it's not. I
To
don't think a personnel change is maybe where we have to go.
to your point, though, I would like to see, like, if we could teleport to or time travel to the beginning of the playoffs, and let's say we're the 6th seed again. I want to see what we play like then. Because are we going to play way more motivated, way better? Like, I think I said this one of the times your camera bugged out, but it's like, is it just the fact that we're early in the season and people just don't care about December basketball or November basketball, or is it something else? So, and I spoke it into existence. So, um, but before we move on to the next player and talk about some things that we starred here, Crone with the 5 gifted. I appreciate you. If you guys didn't already, do W Crone in the chat. It's always W Corona, as I said.
For what it's worth, I think Dante, Ant, Dillingham, Shannon Jr., even Randall are playing better than average as a ball handler, as a playmaker, as a shot creator. I think it's really cool to see the creativity we're kind of bestowing with our roster, right? But I just think that it's not enough, and we're kind of waiting for someone to kind of emerge. And it can't just be Ant, and I don't think it will be Ant. Like he is just a scorer first and always. And you saw it tonight. Like there were some clear moments where he just wanted to get going because Jalen Brown was going, and he just
Yes.
wanted to pop off because Jalen Brown, his counterpart, was popping off, and he wasn't looking for others, and he should have. He got 5 assists, which is amazing, but like at the same time, right? Like he could do so much more on that side of the ball, but he doesn't, and that's okay. We ride with that. But like Dante popping off, we're gonna probably get to Dante here for 8 assists. That's amazing. That's something that's like we pick up where other people are like not there. And can this work is going to be the project of the season and the litmus test of like should we continue this moving forward? And the answer is probably no. And it's because of like how slow our roster is. And we could
Yeah.
pick up the pace, as Manimal said, we aren't the best in transition. That's because we aren't playing people who are good in transition, and those are mostly off the bench. So
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. We should get to Dante. And you already said some of his stats, but he played 34 minutes. He had 15 points, 8 assists, as you mentioned, 3 rebounds, 1 steal. He was 5 of 9 shooting, so he made 5 shots instead of 4 today. How about that? But he was 4 of 7 from 3. Had 1 turnover, had 2 fouls. But no, I think Ashwin kind of said it best earlier. He just had like or maybe it wasn't Ashwin, maybe it was Jim Pete. I don't know. But he just was having like a steady game. I felt like there was never any super high highs or super low lows. It was just kind of steady. He was, he was facilitating to a degree. Obviously, he had 8 assists, but it was a good game. I don't know. I could probably go to nice for him for this game.
yeah, I think defensively he was lapsing, but offensively he was remarkable. I think there was a big reason why we didn't see Jalen Clark, Dillingham, even Shannon Jr. getting more minutes. It's because offensively he was there. He was a pocket. He was a bucket. He was doing everything he can to do things, and even he was even exaggerating calls just to try to get the refs to call an offensive screen, which we have to fight those things, right? We are playing too traditionally offensively, whereas Kada and the Celtics bigs are moving screens and they're not getting called for because they're not going to call all of them. And I loved seeing DiVincenzo even playing that part, right? Like kind of exaggerating content just to try to get the call for us. Why am I going so hard on that? It's because he was doing all the little things tonight. Like I thought that in a game where this was just won and lost at the 3-point line, like he provided so much for us, kept us in the game from blowing up to 20, 25. Honestly, I felt like that. So kudos to him in the game. I think, yeah, nice for sure.
I'm good with nice. I think, again, since these are all just based off of individual player expectations, like, I don't know. I expect Dante to make 4 shots, shoot 4 of 11. And he was 5 of 9 tonight or whatever he was.
Yeah.
So
King Jack says we're asking Dante to do way too much, and he's just a pure spot up shooter. I don't
Mhm.
like him driving to the rim as much as I thought he was going to be great at, and
Yeah.
I really do like his passing, but it's like his chemistry with the rest of the team isn't like fully there. I love his spot up shooting, but he's asked to do more, and he's at least providing occasionally. Like I don't know, we can't really
Yeah.
blame him for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think also, I mean, I think me personally, I expected way more out of him when we first got him. Again, I was just basing it off of the one playoff series. I know I say that every stream, but like that one playoff series, he looked like he was going to be Michael Jordan. But obviously that's not the case. Next up, let's do Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert played 30 minutes at 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He was a plus 15 tonight. He was 5 of 6. Doesn't really matter. No turnovers. Only 1 foul from him tonight. So this is kind of a weird team for him to play against because he did cause some never minds early in the game from multiple players on the Celtics. But the Celtics, their never minds turn into 3-point attempts where our perimeter defenders are just not ready for some reason for them to do that. So that's not Rudy's fault. Like Rudy did what he was supposed to do, I thought, defensively. To Ashwin's point earlier, there were some, I mean, he's getting boxed out by some way too small players at times and missing out on rebounds, which is bad. I mean, he is 7'3, 7'4, whatever. He needs to be able to, we have to be able to rely on him for rebounds, especially against a semi-smaller team. But I don't know. I thought he had some decent. He's still using 2 hands, which I like. The 2 hands for a lot of things is I like that improvement and change in the last couple games. I don't I don't know. I guess I don't know where to put him. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So I'm kind of looking at right now. I'm looking at old and nice, and probably leaning old, even though I just said a bunch of like moderately positive things. I don't know.
Yeah, he was old or meh at best for me. I think there's some things that I just don't like that's happening routinely is that we're getting dominated in the paint, we're getting dominated in the boards. What is like I get it. Like you're not getting the ball very often if at all, Rudy, so you kind of start to lapse and like get into your headspace of like when can you get opportunities. I do like that he's not like throwing his hand up every possession now, like he knows he's not
Yes.
getting the ball kind of thing. But defensively, it just like kind of feels weird to be like, I prefer Jaden as the last line of defense over Rudy sometimes because Rudy gets too patient and he wants to make sure that the player that he's guarding doesn't get the pass. And then it's an easy layup for Derek White or easy putback for Pritchard. Like my God, those moments where it's like, why is Pritchard getting the rebound? He's
Mhm.
5'10". Like it was very frustrating to see that. And then even like the and one, which was great to have, right? The Dante pass, I think it was
Yeah.
Dante or Julius pass for uh Gobert and one. That was great. He should have dunked it because that is like an energy play. That is something that can get your whole team going, and your momentum is not like this limping ginger layups. Like we don't want that from you. And it was nice to have you switch a free throw or two, getting back into higher percentages of free throws. That's great. But it's like that's a sign when you're just trying to like avoid contact. It's like you're playing too soft, and I just think that that's what's happening with Gobert. And he got completely out muscled tonight by someone on the center lineup for Boston. That like I don't know, would he be starting on other teams? I'm not sure he should because he dominated 19 and 19 or something tonight. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, where was he? Yeah, 19 and 18. Jeez Louise. That is crazy. And that's effort. And I think that's the whole thing about the whole team. This is something also long term that I've wondered about Rudy because I've been more anti. I know early on and ever since we traded for Rudy, people have been trying to trade Rudy out of here because of some of the things that you've just talked about, but some other factors as well. But it's like, I mean, the defensive numbers with Rudy still just they always look good. They, I mean, maybe not at this exact moment, but like in general, they always do look good, and I think he does generally help the team defensively in ways that people don't expect. Because of course the casual NBA fan is like, okay, this like slender, tall, big man should be able to guard like a guard. They want him to be able to guard one on one with people rather than these kind of like team defensive plays because we scheme our entire defense around him. But I think what it does is it allows for our players when Rudy's not out there to be lazy defensively because right now they can play it's kind of a fun way of playing defense for a perimeter defender when you have Rudy behind you because you can be a little bit more aggressive. You can take more risks and let them go by you because Rudy's going to be there and he's going to block the shot or make them pass it or cause a never mind, whatever. But when Rudy's not out there, we're still kind of letting people run past us. And then Nas is out of position because he's not playing that same way. So it's like, or whoever our center is. I think it's just not good for like the development of players, maybe unless you're keeping Rudy forever. And maybe you're trying to trade or you're trying to make Yoan be that player. But I don't know. Anyways, all that to say, I think I'll give him old tonight. I wasn't as down on him tonight, but I do agree with the effort part. There's a lot of effort there, and he's getting boxed out by people that he should not be getting boxed out by. I get that some of the time he's trying to draw those fouls, but whatever. All right. Lastly, Anthony Edwards, 37 minutes, 39 points. Always love when you have more points than minutes. Almost a 40 piece, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 block. He was 12 of 24, 5 of 11 from 3, 10 of 11 from the line. Wow, it didn't feel like he got to the line that much. Weird. No turnovers from our point guard. 3 personal fouls, which I hated these fouls too. It felt like he was using them too quickly early in the game. It kind of drove me crazy, but obviously that wasn't an issue. But no, this was a great game from Ant. Another great game from Ant. He's had a few now in a row. Ever since I saw that was ever since Jace on Twitter talked about him negatively not being an MVP. He's had like MVP numbers. No, this was a great game. I do agree. In the beginning, again, I know some of you guys get super frustrated when we criticize Ant in any way. You guys have to understand, we love Ant. And some of you may not have been around when we were criticizing like Cat before, other stars on the team, but it's like that has happened. I think that there are times where he deserves criticism. I thought, I get it. He had 11 points in the first. Well, what did he end up? Did he have 11 points in the first quarter? Yeah, 11 points in the first. So 15 in the first half. If you're just looking at the numbers and not watching the game, that's good. But I think the first half was a little from the whole team, including Ant, a little lazy. Obviously, that's why we were down at the half by like 10 or 11 or however many points. But of course, then you get that third quarter from him. That's 10 points. And then 14 in the fourth, where he really did take the team to victory. It was kind of just all him. But like you said earlier, we don't want to have the team rely on that. However, if we're just talking about Ant, I think this is an easy cash game from me. Not a horse-sized duck, but it is probably a cash.
I think it might be a horse-sized duck for me. It was awesome to see him kind of persevere through adversity, still get to the rim, still get to the line. It doesn't matter how big or tall or enforceive they are. We're still attacking the rim because that's the game plan, but that's his strength. And he's still getting his shots up from 3. And even though he had like a pretty poor shooting half, he still had like 11, 13 or whatever in 3 or 4 assists. So that's great. And your comment on the 0 turnovers is incredible because they were doubling him. They were rushing him. They were like that one crazy 3 at the end of the game where he lost his dribble, but he still popped it off for 3, like kind of sealing the game. That's a superstar, man. Like he will figure things out. And he had this insane post move in the early parts of the first quarter. Like he is taking his game to the next level. And like he wasn't the focus early in the quarter in the beginning of the game, but he realized like the game is getting out of hand and he just took over midway through that first
Yep.
quarter.
Mhm.
And so it was great to see. I think his instincts are there. I think his willingness to pass is like very remarkable, and he's still growing into that
Mhm.
role. And I just think that, like, when push to comes to shove, he wants to take the shot. He's not. He's going to probably find that. Oh, like if think about that Phoenix game with like 10 seconds left. If he's the one who's like driving to the rim, is he going to take that shot just like Randall did, or is he going to find Jaden open in the corner three? Who knows? But like the chances are, I like my chances better with him with the ball. And in regards to like declaring point guard, lead guard, guard heavy leagues, he might need someone else to help offset some of that, but he's doing a damn good job right now on his own. This was an incredible performance for him.
Yeah, Josh says no need to score north when we get the win with Ashwin.
I don't know what this is. You're not going to
They're
see me
talking-
for another month pretty soon, sir. So
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm
though.
so sorry about that.
I love that comment. Yeah, chat seems to be way more on your side than mine with the HSD. So I think we can go horse sized duck. It was a good game. This actually probably is the definition, because I said it was a great game that I'm not going to remember, because I'm not going to remember this game. If you guys ask me to recount this game from Anthony Edwards in 3 months, I will not be able to do so. But it was an amazing game from him. So
He did he actually did everything correct. Like maybe there was a couple moments of defensive lapses. We're not going to like discount him for that. Everything correct. Getting to the line with proficiency, hitting his threes with a 40% clip, taking over the game where it mattered most. Jaylen Brown popped off for 19 in the first quarter, and he ended up with like what 30, 40 something like. But he didn't pop off for
41.
80. Like that's what he was
Yeah.
aiming for. And like we stopped that. And
Yeah.
that's a team effort, but also like he rose to the occasion and like compounded the fact that they needed more from Jaylen Brown than they got. And Jaylen Brown looked crazy at the end of the game where he wasn't getting his normal shots going. So
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 points in the fourth quarter only, right? So
Yeah. No, this was a great game from him. He gets an HSD. I don't know where to put Finch. He did the end of game. We had 2 timeouts with under 2 minutes to go, and Boston's just going crazy, and no usage of those timeouts. There's times where it's like I understand, and you're like, I just want the team to learn how to get through this. But I feel like we've done that a lot, and it hasn't worked. So it kind of feels like the time to use timeouts and figure it out. I get that sometimes you use the timeout and it gives the other team a chance to game plan, and it gets, it gets them more opportunity, but I don't know. I just, that felt like a valid moment to call at least one of your timeouts. But maybe in his mind, this is just a given that we were going to give the game away. And he's like, it's going to be a tie game with 30 seconds. So we need to be able to have timeouts to advance the ball or something. I don't know. I would go old. Actually, we'll do meh. Old was too nice tonight. So we'll go meh for Finch tonight. But we got the win. That's, I guess, all that matters. Oh, okay. Well, we play tomorrow. Immediately. We play tomorrow, and we play the Spurs, who will not have Wemby, if I am correct in my information there. I don't think he's back. Could be wrong, but yeah, it doesn't look. Yeah, he's out. Okay. Oh, and Castle is out. Okay, and Jordan McLaughlin is out. Oh, the return of J-Mac. But he's out. It appears. At least that's what the Timberwolves app says. We'll see. San Antonio is 13-5 on the year. We are 11-8. They are playing really good basketball even without Wemby. So that is going to be a tough game. And then after that, we play 2 games against the Pelicans. I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I'm still worried about those Pelicans games. And I'll take all the hate in the world to make us win against those games. And then next Saturday, we will be playing the Clippers. And next Saturday, me and Ashwin will not be live because we are going to be hanging out in person. By that face, maybe we will. Maybe there will be a stream on Saturday. But anyways, those are the next few games. Tomorrow's game is a little bit earlier. It's a 6 p.m. Central game. So be ready for that, and we'll see. I'm undecided if I'll be able to stream tomorrow. I don't know if you are able to stream tomorrow. If you are, then I'll probably just do it. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the video. We did not get to 75 likes. Remember, guys, you got to start liking the video earlier. And you got to hit the hype button, whatever the heck that means in the comments. But anyways, I think that's it for us today. Ashwin, you got any other thoughts? Yeah, we can't hear you. Right. Okay, and also I kind of want to see Rocco play because he's just so big. I feel like that would be helpful, but maybe I'm crazy. Can Harden just get on the bus? Maybe that'll happen. Who knows? Sometimes they do this kind of stuff, but hit the like button for surely. And Ashwin's going to join for the last 3 seconds here. All right. 52 wins is still possible. Intro is the outro. HSD in the chat. We will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the world championship.
Edwards.